Hello everyone, it's Mich here and welcome to my channel. I hope everybody's doing well today. Today is day 4 of the Junk Journal July 2024 challenge, which is a challenge that the prompts were set by Meg Journals, and I'll put her link in the description box below. So if you have been following me, you know that I'm doing this with a bit of a twist, and that at the end of July I want to have a little affirmation journal for myself. So every day along with the prompt, I am doing an affirmation that I'm going to put in my journal. So at the start, I chose what affirmations that I was going to choose. So today, the prompt is labels. So I am going to be using labels on my page. And the prompt or the affirmation is about release. And so today's affirmation is, I release all negative energy from my mind and body. So just take a minute, take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, close your eyes, kind of relax the tension in your body, and just say, I release all negative energy from my mind and body, and just envision it leaving your body, and just that calm and relaxation that you have. So let's get on with it. So the journal that I created is the one that Meg gave a tutorial for too. It's just an accordion journal, and for mine, I did put a cover on it, which I'll decorate later. The first page that we did, I am going to go back to this because I still just think it needs stuff. I'm leaving this as a little journal spot behind the, what is it, a flip out, I guess? And so I am going to get back to that one, but I'm quite happy with what I've done so far. So this is the page we're going to work on, and I'm just going to start by getting some labels down on my background. So I've already kind of gone through my stash, so I have just from different creative studios and different orders that I have a bunch of labels. But I also, when I have time, I just make a lot of my own labels. And I do this with, I have a nice Tim Holtz, I think it's called Field Specimens. I can't remember. I don't have it right here to hand. But it's one of my favorite stamp sets. It's called Field Notes. So if I'm doing a project, I often just make extra labels. So I'm just going to use a combination of my labels and labels that I already have. So I thought, let's get just a little bit of labels down in the background. So I'm going to use my labels as a bit of collage, and then we'll go from there. Today's going to be, I'm going to use acrylic paints to do a little painting on my page. I have already put down some clear gesso. I did that last night, just to protect the page a little bit from seepage onto the back when I use the acrylics. I'm also going to do a bit of blending with my Tim Holtz oxides just on the edges of the page. So something like that. On this page, when I created my book, I had a letter from my grandmother that I had scanned and photocopied, and I found some of it in my scrap bin. So this is a piece of a letter that my grandmother sent me in 1989, I think. So I wanted kind of to add that into my spread. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I just want to add a little bit of gesso just to push back some of the writing there. If I can get it open. I find I struggle with the gesso. With the gesso and my arthritis. So I'm just going to put a little bit of gesso. I'm just going to use my finger to get that down. Okay, and I just want to push some of this down a little bit into the background. And I'm not being fussy about it. And I use the gesso because it's just a little bit more translucent, I guess, or transparent than just white paint itself. So I'm happy kind of with that. I have an image that's going to sit on there. So what I'm going to do next, while I'm letting this dry, is I'm going to get on with the next part of it. So for this next bit, I cut out sort of a plant pot shape from just brown cardstock, and I cut it out on the fold so that it's going to flip down. So what I want to do to start is I just want to collage some labels onto this part. So I had picked a few out last night that I thought might go okay. Some are ones that I made, just like I said, and some are just these ones that I had. So this one here is a sticky label, I think. And my thumb's been really bothering me. There we go. Oh, almost had it. So I also want to wish my neighbors to the south a happy July the 4th, because today is July the 4th. So I hope that you have a great firework day. We had ours on July the 1st, which was our Independence Day, I guess you'd say. All right, and then I have this little one. So I need to pull this over a little bit, if I can. It's pretty stuck down there. It looks like it's going to be another great day here. There we go. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning. I wanted to get up early before work and get this and work on this a bit. Okay, I want that lifted up a little bit. Okay, and then I think this is another sticker. A lot of times if I just roll the edge there, I can get it lifted up. Okay, so get that down, and then thinking maybe I need one underneath there. What about something like that? Or a little, oh, I think that would be better, that one there. Put that one down, and then we can put that over top. Okay. And then we'll get that one down. Okay, so that's the front of the pot. I also want to do the back of the pot. So when it flips down, I'm going to cut this off first, so I know what I'm looking at. Okay. I just woke up not long ago, so I'm still kind of sleepy. Okay, so we have that as the front, and then I'm going to do the little lip of the pot next. And I'm just going to cut this in half. I think this is a sticker too. And I'm going to put half it down on this side. And I think I'll put the other half on the other side. So happy the water boil order came off yesterday. So here in Halifax we had a boil water order. And I always keep some boiled water, bottled water, which I went out to Costco last night to get my fruit and stuff, as I didn't want to stock up on fruit until the order was off. And but I was boiling water, and I put some in my reusable water drinking thing. And yesterday at work, I was drinking out of with the boiled water, and ugh, tastes horrible. So I'm so glad I'm back to just, I cleaned out my Brita filter. I put a new filter, I washed it all out with soapy water again and put a new filter in it. And so that's ready. Okay, so then that's going to be the lip of my pot. So then when we open it up, I want to collage the bottom part here. So I'm thinking I'll use this one. And did I use that one. Maybe this one here. Specimen. I've had a bunch of other ones here as well. What about if we use a pink specimen? I think that would work okay. And do I want that? I want that on the bottom. So we'll get that down there. And then that'll be over top. And then put that there. Agent 1929. I love creating these little labels. They're so fun. Okay, and then, oops, we'll get that down. As I was kind of preparing things last night, I was thinking about my affirmation, but I didn't want to start really living the affirmation because I was still working on, I have an eternal spirit that is always within me, which was yesterday. But today, while I'm at work, and throughout the day, I've written down the saying, and I'll refer to it, especially if I feel like I'm getting tense. And when I get tense, sometimes I don't realize it until I consciously think, oh gosh, I just feel really tense. And with me, my shoulders tend to just make its way up towards my ears, and my upper back is all tense. So it'll be good for me to kind of think about releasing that energy. Okay, so I think I'm done with the labels for now. I do want to add another label to the front of the pot. Okay, and then we can glue on our lip. So we'll just tack that down on here. That's so cute. And I should have just collaged on the back of that, just because it's going to peek out over top there, so that's fine. We'll stick some of these down on it. Receipt number 1120. There's our label. And it's open to interpretation of, what exactly is a label. There's so many different things that you can classify as a label. What about this, London? I used to live in London, and I really miss it some days. All right, well, let's just use this, and then we'll just crop off what doesn't stay down, or what's overlapping. Okay, that's perfect. I didn't want to spend too much time deliberating because, again, I'm just trying to do quick and easy things. And saying that, I think they have been quick and easy so far. It's the prep that kind of thinking about what you're going to do and getting stuff together. I was just kind of doing this last night before I went to bed, and then I had my recycling too that goes out today. Okay, yeah, I think that'll look okay. So let's go back to the drawing board, and I'm just using Elmer's glue here. It's the glue all, not the school glue. It usually works quite well. All right, so I want to get my lip pretty straight. So, oops, I want that on the front, this one. All right, so I think that's pretty straight. Oops. Struggling here with this lip. Okay, let's try it again. Let's get that down. Because I put glue on the other side, on this side here. Okay, I think that's good for now. So that's going to be our pot to go on our page. So I just want to go back to our page. The gesso should be dry. Yeah. And I just kind of want to make a pencil mark of where the lip is going to sit. So I think I'm going to, and one of the reasons I put the labels with the little lines is just to give the pot a little something to sit on. Okay, so I guess the next thing I want to do is I want to do some distressing. So that's kind of why I covered this other page. I'm just going to use some vintage photo. It's one of my favorite ones. Okay, and I'm just going to go along the edge and just do some blending just around the page. Especially around the edge, just to give it a little weathered look, I guess. But it also pushes back the brighter colors of the labels. Especially around here, because that's where my other image is going to go. Okay, so I'm happy with that. A little bit more right there in that corner. Okay, so we got that step down. I'm just going to move that out of the way. These oxides. Okay, so for my next step, make sure that gets tacked down good. Right, so now I'm going to mark where about the lip of my pot is going to be, or my pot. So it's going to be about there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to about there and about there, I think. And probably right about there. Okay, so I'm going to use these as my focal point, my center point, and I'm going to do some painting. So I've got a brush here. This is, I think, a 6 flat brush, and I'm going to just do some daisies, and it's really easy. I have a glass mat here just beside me, and I'm just going to put a little blob of white paint on my mat. I need a little bit more than that. Okay, so that's the white, and then I'm just going to wipe off my spatula. Then I'm just going to use a little bit of gray. So this is just dolphin gray. It's a ceramic coat. I've had this for 30 years, probably. I used to do a lot of toll painting in my past. I don't do so much painting now, but so I'm going to put down a little bit of the dolphin gray. So what we're going to do is we're going to move that over a bit. Okay, so I'm just going to load my brush with white. So I'm just going to load that up really good with white. And then just on the very, very corner, I'm going to put a little bit of gray so that you can hardly even know that there's gray there. I'm going to start with my brush perpendicular to the page. I'm going to go lightly at first, and then I'm going to squish it down and back up to that center point. Okay, and then I think that's a bit too much gray, so I'm just going to go over that again. I'm going to go down and to the center point. Okay, so then I'm going to do that again, and I'm going to go at 12, at 3, oops, I got too much paint, 3, and then I'm going to go at 6 and 9. Okay, and so once I've done that, then I'm just going to fill in the gaps. So we're going to squish it down, back up, and then we're just going to keep going around until we get our daisy how we like it. Okay, and then just fill that in. I only put a little bit of gray just to give it a little bit of interest in other color. So I'm happy with that. It doesn't need to be into a chrysanthemum. And then on my little side points here, I think that's a little bit too close to that one. And my line of my pot's going to be here. Okay, so I think I'll put one here. And I'm just going to try to get this one a little bit smaller than the big one. Just a little touch of gray. And then down and back up. Now, if you don't have paints, of course, not everybody's going to have paints. The other idea that I kind of had, sort of to give other ideas, is I just went online last night and I just found a couple clip art images of daisies and I printed them off, which I'll show you in just a second. And you can just do that, or if you have some images in like a gardening book, you can just do a little collage with your images. But when I started this, I was thinking I wanted to do more of my mixed media. So I did show some of my journals that I have worked in, and I just kind of want it to be a little bit, and I just find this so relaxing. And it's a great way to start my day. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And if you don't like, when you get the final product, if you don't like it, you can go back and change it. Add to it. 'Cause this one here, I'm not liking how that kind of looked. Okay. So that's as easy as that. I do have a jar of water here. I'm just going to clean off that paint. And then for the stems, I'm just going to use the same brush. Okay, and then I have just a little bit of green. This is light green permanent. And I only need a tad bit, such as that. And then I'm going to use a little bit of the darker green for my side load. And this is deep green permanent. Okay, so I just need a wee little bit of that as well. So we'll get that down. And then I'm just going to take my same brush. I'm going to get some of the green there. Load that up, and then just a tad on the side. Okay, and then I'm just going to go down to below that line. So I'm just going to put my brush down and just drag to below where I know my pot's going to be. Okay, and the same over here. So I'm thinking that's going to maybe go like this. Okay, and then our last one there is this one here. So here's our pot there. So I'm thinking if we go like this and down into the pot. Okay, so then we're going to make leaves on there just the same way that we did for the daisies and south. So I'm just going to put my brush down, push, and release. And we're just going to do some little leaves just around our stems. Okay, and I'm loading. And this time though, when I put my little side load of the darker green, I always have the dark edge to the top of the page. So when I drag down, you can see the top of the leaf gets that little shaded area. Okay, and then we'll just do a couple more for our other little guy there. And then that's basically our flowers. Get that down. Okay. Oh, no, so the last bit is the center of the flowers. So for the center of the flowers, I have a couple yellows here. And we're just going to use a little bit of the cadmium yellow deep hue. And we just need a wee little bit of that. Which is why I'm using my spatulas, because if I blob it onto the glass, I invariably get way too much. Way too much. Okay, so yeah, so and the other one is yellow ochre. So I'm just going to use my same brush. Just going to clean that off in my water here. I always keep my water in a jar with a lid, so when I'm finished I can put the lid on it. Otherwise I know it's going to get all over the place. So for the center, I'm just going to pounce a bit, first with the darker, the yellow ochre, and just around kind of the center there. Okay, so we got that down, and then I could put a little bit more in this one here. I probably didn't even need to put this out on the mat. I could have just used my brush and taken a top. The thing is though, if some of the white's not yet dry, I don't want to contaminate my tube, so it's always good to squeeze it out onto a mat. So then I'm just going to use some of the lighter yellow just to put a little highlight at the top. Okay, and I'm just going really gentle with that. I'm not sure if that's picking up on camera, but it just gives the top just a little highlight there. Okay, so that's our flowers. Nothing fancy. Could have got more, I guess we could have got more, but more details and stuff, could have highlighted and shaded, but we're trying to keep things more to the affirmation. So then our pot is going to sit on there like this, like so. So I'm going to get the pot down because I don't think there's anything else except for, I was thinking about my closure, like how am I going to, but I think I'm just going to use a Velcro dot, and then I'll just hide it. I could use a magnet, If I was going to use the magnet, though, I should have put it underneath the labels. But I think I'll just use a little Velcro dot. I think that'll be fine. You'd see it, but it doesn't really matter. There's ways I could have got more technical, but because the other thing that I could do is I could just put, I'm just going to put, I think I'll just put a Velcro dot. So I'm going to get this pot down. Okay, so that's going to go, I want it to kind of sit on my little line there, because that kind of anchors it a bit. And try to get it kind of straight. That looks good. Okay, so what else I want to do now is I want to put a little label on the pot. So I'm thinking I like that. So we're going to get that down. And then I was looking around in my stash for little flowers, and I found a couple things. So I found that, but I really didn't. I'm not really liking that. So then I found this one, which is quite transparent, but I'm thinking I might put that on the back of that. And then, but I found this one, which I quite liked. So I kind of thought I would put that on there. But do I want to keep all of that? I think I do. And this is just one of those washi, pet washi tapes. So you can get like the normal washi tape, which is on like a masking tape type material, and then you can get these clear ones. These can be a bit fiddly to get off the backing. What I have found in the past is my tried and true of just rolling the edge, but let's see what happens today. Yeah, that just comes off right easy. Okay, and I like it like about there. Okay, so we've got our stickers down. Oh, that's cute. And I had cut out a bunch more other labels from just a punch that I had and some stuff, but I think that that's good. So the other idea that I had, and I knew I'd stick my fingers in my paint invariably, is if you don't paint, you don't have paints, you don't want to go out and buy paints, then I did go online and I found just some clip art, but you could use whatever you wanted. And you can I just printed these off in different sizes, so you could just make a little collage with, and I think that kind of actually looks cuter than my painting. But I just wanted to put some of my own work in there. And then I can go back now with my brush and I can add a little bit more dimension to my flowers. And that's just going over them again, doing that same technique. And just kind of brightening them up a little bit to make them stand out. Especially ones I find there was too much gray, because you just want to be really stingy when you're side loading the gray, or choose a gray that's not so dark. Maybe a little lighter gray would have. I generally like this combination though. Okay. And just brighten it up a little bit. This one here I want. Just be careful not to pull through onto your yellow. So today I release all negative energy from my mind and body. Today I'll take a deep breath when things get a little bit overwhelming. when I was going through my labels and stash, my stickers and stuff, I came across some stickers from the COVID vaccination. And I know there's a lot of strong opinions on getting vaccinated or not, and I'm not here to judge or put my opinion across, but as a healthcare professional, as a nurse, and I was always a clinical nurse specialist in infection control, you know, I do feel that for me, that vaccination was the thing that I should do. But I was working and they were calling for nurses to work in the vaccination clinic. So here in Halifax, we had a couple mass clinics where we would see between the two sites, Halifax and, well, we had a site in Dartmouth and we had a site in Halifax. We'd see hundreds of people a day. And anyways, I found some of the stickers from when I was doing that, and was thinking back to how much I really enjoyed giving people needles. I gave my dad came to the clinic, and I gave my dad the needle. And my dad and I love him dearly, but sometimes, you know, we just rub. And so I was thinking, oh gosh, if I mess this up and like hurt my father or do something, I'm never going to hear the end of it. But he went home and told my family that he didn't even feel it, that I gave a really great needle. So take that as a huge compliment. Okay, I'm just going to fix up this leaf a little bit, make that a little bit darker. And it was right in the time, highlighted in the time of COVID, and it didn't really even scare me to be out in the public in that way. I really enjoyed it. All right, so my next question is, what am I going to do? Should I just put, I should have, if I was going to do that, put more labels down to collage the back of the pot, but I can't really trim it now that I've glued it down, because I really wasn't thinking that I would, but I'm thinking that I could use my little sticker here as an accent at the bottom. The thing is that's quite transparent, so it's not going to show up a lot. But I am going to cut this. So I release all negative energy. All negative energy from my body and mind. From my mind and body. So I'm thinking maybe something like that. And then I think what I'll do is I'll do a bit of doodles. I also had pulled out some of these little stickers. Maybe I could put one across the top. So these seem a little bit shorter. So what if I just put this across the top maybe? And get it off here. Isn't this fun? Let's just play all day. So I'm thinking I'll put that there across the top, and then I release all negative energy from my body, my mind and body, from my mind and body. It's going to be my mantra today. So I think I'll get that down, and then I want to put something down there. I could put that black heart. I just got these over at Atlantic Fabrics. I was over there one day. So in Halifax, if you watch me, you know that I'm always saying that we don't really have a lot of crafty options. We have Michael's and we have the dollar store, but we also have Atlantic Fabrics, and they do tend to have different little stickers and stuff. So I'm just looking, thinking, what do I want to look at when I'm flipping through my journal? Because for sometimes when I do my little artwork, I just think, what do I want to look at when I go back and forth? So I'm thinking that one of these ones here will work. I think I like this one. It's got kind of like leaves. And I'm going to put it a little bit at an angle. Okay, so then I'm just going to get these down with a little bit of glue. And then I'll find my Velcro. I release all negative energy from my mind and body. There. Okay, the other kind of thing that I was thinking, and I don't know where he got to, there he is I have this little butterfly, but I think he's too big. So I did have this little sticker book that I picked up one time at Michael's. And there's some little, what I liked about it was there was just some really little things. So I'm kind of thinking that I might want a little flower there. I'm not even sure if you can still get this little book. I haven't seen them for ages. I was thinking there might be a little daisy there, but no. But I do like one of the little butterflies that I think we'll put right up there. Can hang out with Grammy. And I'm thinking that I like this one. Or do I? I think I like this one. Oh yeah, that's cute. So we got our little butterfly flying there. But I also just pulled out a few other little sticker packs. So I've got little daisies there. I think that's going to work. I've got little daisies on there. Happy mind, happy life. That's what today is all about. Doing great. Will that work there? I think that might be too big. How about just a couple of these little ones? These are just tiny. And why don't we go with a pink? Okay, so now is all I need to do is get my Velcro out. So I have a little stash here, just in my sewing area. My room is quite small, but I try to keep it organized. And the best dots that I find for wee little dots are the Velcro ones. I get quite a few from Dollar Store or Michael's, but these little Velcro ones just seem to work the best. So I'm actually just going to cut one in half. I'm going to put it down. Right there. Okay, and then I'm just going to take the other half. Then when I finish here, I'm going to get my shower, get the recycling out. Get Chester fed. It's a wonder he's not in here chewing my leg off, because I try not to feed him till like 6 o'clock, and when I got up at 5 it was a bit too early. Okay, so there is our page for today. So then we pull it down, we see our affirmation: I release all negative energy from my mind and body. So I hope you enjoyed that little artsy fartsy moment, and I do hope that today you can kind of dispel that negativity if it wells up on you, And until tomorrow, I hope you do stay safe and well. And bye for now.